36 here, Big 550 KTRS. So the last couple of weeks and months, Martin Kilcoyne has been hosting a series of roundtable discussions on education. It's something that we're doing to sort of help promote and foster ideas. And the next in this line is this Friday at Lake of the Ozarks, and John Carney will be hosting it. To talk about it is president of Ittner Architects, Dennis Young. Dennis, welcome to Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, thank you.
What's going on here? What is this all about?
Well, you know, we've been very privileged to sit in on conversations with college presidents and board of trustees, superintendents and their boards of education, and we hear some amazing things of what they're dealing with, the issues and kind of their strategies for addressing those issues. And, you know, it's just too bad that most people out there just hear sound bites. You know, there's a lot of news competing, whether it's sports or international news,
right,
and you just don't hear much about it. And education is really so important to all of us in terms of jobs and salaries and your future, that what we thought we would do is really bring together a roundtable discussion of educational leaders for 60 minutes and do that on a monthly basis and allow those people to be heard firsthand. And
so
it's just amazing stories.
The next one is Friday. We'll get to that in a second. But what are some of the things you've heard already from Martin's show that sort of stood out?
Well, it's the stories are a little different, whether it's universities or public K through 12 or private schools. So they all have different issues. But just dealing with the universities, you know, they're all competing for students, whether it's for sports or for the sciences or performing arts, and they're all competing. And as they compete, you know, they're ratcheting up.
It's an arms race.
Yeah, it really is for everything.
Right.
And the competing issue is affordable education,
right,
getting tuition down. Mm-hmm. So to hear these university presidents discuss those kinds of issues at the really detailed level, it's just fascinating because they're all positioning themselves.
They got to have the latest gyms, the greatest, newest dorms, the greatest, newest this and that, and they got to have the coffee house and the all-night diner and the all-night this. And then when you give them the price, wait a minute, I don't want to pay for all that.
Absolutely, and it just keeps going up. So, you know, the presidents that we've talked to, they're all very serious about trying to get that tuition down, and you know, it doesn't happen overnight.
So what's happening Friday?
What's happening Friday?
Yeah.
Missouri School Board is a annual conference of statewide leaders. About 2,500 school board members and superintendents will be there, and they're all in one place. They have 3 days of conferences on a variety of topics, and we're going to expand the 60 minutes to a 90-minute roundtable discussion where we're going to have about 16 different educational leaders from Kansas City down to Poplar Bluff up to Kirksville in St. Louis.
In college or high school? Or
it'll just be public K through 12.
K through 12,
That's
okay.
what that program is all about.
Gotcha.
And they have their issues in terms of how do you assess performance of students, the issue of Common Core,
right,
which obviously has been debated back and forth.
Right.
A whole host of issues.
Are you able to come up with some solutions, or is this just a discussion that hopefully can garner some change?
Well, you know, there are solutions going in place, and you usually don't hear about them because they're just kind of slow and they take a couple years to take an effect. But right now, all you hear is what the problems are. You don't hear about the solutions, and you don't see what is being put in place. So, for instance, in the area of sciences, you know, the whole STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, and the kind of programs that are being put in place at community colleges, high schools. We're doing some work right now for an elementary school that will have 6 STEM centers in the school. So they're starting at the very earliest age and working up through, you know, high school.
You're taking on all the real issues, Dennis Young, president of Ittner Architects. If you're going to talk about Common Core, passed by 50 governors, a very conservative idea that is now being destroyed by the conservative movement. Yeah. So you don't get any more controversial than that. So it's this Friday. It's John Carney's show. He's going down to Lake of the Ozarks.
Yes,
for this.
he is. Yes.
So we're going to be carrying it live on Friday. And tune in because it should be entertaining, right?
Well, I don't know about entertaining. It should be really purposeful.
Entertaining and informative.
Informative. We've interviewed the people that have been picked to speak. We spent a lot of time with Missouri School Board leaders and ourselves talking to these board members and superintendents. State Board of Education will be there. to make sure that we get people who aren't just going to be talking about an issue that's only important in their district,
Right.
but
Statewide.
across the state. And we don't have everybody who's in agreement on these issues.
Clearly.
So we'll be talking.
Any elected officials going to be there?
I don't think any elected officials will be
Well,
there.
good. You might actually get something done there. Dennis Young, president of Ittner Architects. Thanks for coming in, Dennis.
Hey, thank you very much. Bye now.
742 here, Big 550 KTRS.